Hey YouTube, it's Nate. Ooh, this is scary. Another live stream. I always get really nervous when I live stream. What if I say something stupid? What if I mess up? What if I do something embarrassing? But I guess it's all for confidence and stuff like that. So really exciting. Bit more cheerful than my last live stream. Last live stream was very improvised, very serious, actually, very kind of scary for me to admit, to talk about, stuff like that. But this one is a lot more lighthearted. I'm a lot more confident going into this one than I was in the last one. Did stumble a lot with the last one, but that's okay because it's all good practice. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight into it and just see what happens, see where we go. We're going to start off talking about the changes to YouTube. How is it going to affect me, if it's going to affect me at all? How has it affected people that I know that are on YouTube? And is anything going to change for the channel because of it? So for you guys who aren't aware, YouTube has gone through some changes where smaller channels have apparently been affected quite a lot by these alterations which YouTube has made to its formula or algorithm, stuff like that, in order to monetize your videos. First time I saw this, I didn't actually get an email at all from YouTube for this channel. I actually got it through the email address of one of my other YouTube channels, which was weird because I haven't got as many subscribers on that one as I do on this one. That one just went over to 100 subscribers a couple of weeks ago, whereas this one's at 145 now. I think I got a subscriber yesterday, so thank you for that. And basically, the way I'm talking about it now, I feel like this is the best way to talk about it. You want to hear about it from a channel that's been around for a while. I don't remember when my first video on this channel was. Let's have a look. See my channel, because I've been on YouTube for 8 years, I believe. 8 years is a long time, almost a decade on YouTube. So this channel, this first video, it says it came out 3 years ago. Abandoned My Disney by Slime Beast. And since then, I've gone up to 145 subscribers. And as you can probably tell, I'm not that fussed by it. I mean, Twitter has been blowing up. Twitter has been going crazy with this new kind of YouTube update. And basically, I've seen a lot of people on YouTube saying stuff like, 2 seconds. In fact, I might post on Twitter now that I'm doing a live stream. Boom, you can probably hear that really loud keyboard right there. Cool, let's do that. Cool. So where was I? Changes to YouTube, and Twitter has been kind of been blowing up in terms of the horror community. I try to keep the people who I follow to a minimum, not because I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to support people. It's just Twitter. You know, the average Twitter lifespan only lasts, like a few minutes. So I don't follow too many people. I usually follow the people I collaborate with, friends in the horror community. I don't actually have anyone I know personally on Twitter. I don't follow celebrities, don't do anything like that. So I kind of keep a close eye on the horror community and the people who I collaborated with. And Twitter has been blowing up with this whole idea that smaller channels are getting screwed over by YouTube, by this new algorithm, which means if you don't know what it is, basically you need to have 1,000 subscribers and get a 4,000-hour total playtime on your channel. So I suppose, live streams can last up to 8 hours. I could just do 2 live streams a day. I do that for do that for a while. But people saying like, oh, it's unfair on the new YouTubers. It's impossible to get started now. And you know, you've heard people say stuff like, if you're new to YouTube, I saw this one YouTuber said, just quit, stop trying to do YouTube. And I'm there thinking, what? Is that the advice you would give to your fans? Is that the advice you would give to someone who wants to basically do what you want to do? I mean, let me get one thing out of the way straight away. I don't do YouTube for money. I've never done YouTube for money. I don't think it's even possible for me or anyone else to argue that I would do it for money, because I've been on YouTube for 8 years. I've been doing this for nearly a decade now, not narrating, but YouTube in general. I've been doing this for a decade, and to be fair, I don't think I've ever really given it much thought. Me and my friends used to always think, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have like a YouTube channel and then like make a living off it? But I've never actually seriously considered it since I've started. You know, when I first did my first ever videos, they were just for fun. They were just completely random off-topic videos, which I didn't expect to get any views. I was still checking every day. And then from there, I started doing more edits, stuff I could look back on, stuff like that, which, you know, I found like really interesting at the time. I got really excited whenever I would be uploading a new kind of video game kind of video or something similar to that. But to be honest, in the past, like, you know, in all the time I've been here, money hasn't even been on my mind. I haven't even monetized any of my videos. Like, I believe, like, I'm not sure how it works. I never really looked into it. I've had YouTube videos which have been able to be monetized, but I've never even thought about doing it. I include copyright music in a lot of my videos, not just on this channel, in my other videos, because money anyway. I don't want money from them. I want the videos to be quality. I can make them, and that's it. A well-made video is going to get viewed regardless, I believe, personally. You can't tell me that you're going to lose out to this new formula because it's just unfair on you. If you make good content, people are going to come to you. And that's not me saying I make great content. You be the judge. Is this for you to decide? I can't say my content is great or my content is bad, although I was destroying myself in my last live stream. But I can't say that personally because I'm biased. I'm biased to my own opinion, and I don't really like voicing my own opinion on my own kind of videos unless it's like constructive criticism. But yeah, so in a way, it shouldn't really matter to you anyway. If you make good content, you're going to get the subscribers, you're going to get the view count anyway. And of course, there will always be those people who are underrated in the community. There will always be those people that are, that are always kind of left out of the system. They kind of fall behind. And do I feel like I'm one of those people? I mean, I guess, but at the same time, in terms of narrating other people, and they are so damn good. And I don't really feel like I should say that I am. There's other people who do stuff which is easily just as good, if not better than the way I do it. I mean, that is my own personal opinion. Feel free to judge that as you will. Speaking of collaborations, I've recently done, I just done new lines for Madness in Wonderland for Fear itself. Not going to give away anything. It's one to watch. The next 2 chapters are ones to watch. You won't be disappointed, guys. They are so good. But I've had people on Twitter kind of reach out to anyone and everyone, especially some of the larger channels, say, oh, if you need a boost in your subscriber count, message me. If you need a boost in your view count, direct message me. If you really enjoy someone's videos, feel free to watch them multiple times, or just watch more of their videos, which I personally believe is not going to work. And I once told a friend that I had a YouTube channel, and I said, check it out if you're interested. And she goes, oh, I'm not really interested, but I'll give you a subscribe if it helps you out. No, that doesn't help me out at all. The offer was there for if you wanted to check it out. I wasn't asking you to subscribe. If you don't care about my channel, I don't expect you to subscribe. In fact, if you don't like it, I would rather you not subscribe. We'll build up this this idea that I've got more fans than I really do, and the way people are going about that to earn a bit of money, it's not right, in my own opinion. It's not right. It's you're building up a false fan base for your channel, and why you would want that for yourself, for your videos, for your channel. I don't know why you guys would want to do something like that. Whether it's horror, gaming, makeup, whatever else, movies, stuff like that. And also, I don't even know that. I thought this was already in place, this kind of system. I thought you already had to get 1,000 subscribers before you can monetize your videos. But hey, that's I guess I didn't know. So how will this be changing my channel? It won't be. This hasn't made a single dent in my channel. It hasn't even touched my channel. Like I've said, I do this for fun. I've always done it for fun. I've got nothing on my mind except for entertaining you guys, having fun myself. In my last live stream, I said I felt like the quality of my channel was slipping. I felt like I wasn't having as much fun as I did at the beginning. Since then, I've only had one new narration out, but I've actually narrated quite a few because I've had this week off work. And already, guys, I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more than a few weeks ago. By the way, thank you for your support on that live stream. That was cool to get some nice feedback. Thank you for that. So yeah, this channel will not be altered. This new update formula for YouTube, it will not be changed. I have not did on it in the slightest. For anyone to say, let me boost your subscribe count, let me add a few extra views for your videos, I don't want it. I don't want you to watch my videos if you don't enjoy them, or if you just don't feel the need to, because I have videos in my liked playlist, I have videos in my favorited playlist, my watch later playlist, and I rewatch them all the time. I rewatch them all the time because I like the videos, I like the content, I think they're great. And a good video will keep people coming back regardless, no matter what. So that's pretty much all I really have to say on the matter, unless I'm missing something, in which case I'll probably be back to this later. Hang on 2 seconds. Cool. What else? Before I move on, is there anything else I need to put on it? No, I think that's everything. I think that's everything. We've got an extra viewer. Hello. Just so we had an extra viewer. I'm not sure they're still here. In kind of the matter of YouTube itself and the way it's changing its formula has an impact on me. Don't really care. If you're that fussed over money, then why are you on YouTube in the first place? I mean, I made a quick video of it on my Twitter, basically saying I've never done it for money. I've spent a lot of money on this channel. I bought a lot of sound effects. I'm using a Blue Yeti microphone, which I actually bought pre-owned for £80. I'm sat at a £700 computer, although I didn't buy it just for this, but it helps. So yeah, I've spent a lot of money on this because I enjoy it and I want to carry on doing it. And for those of you thinking, oh yeah, how it costs so much? YouTube doesn't cost anything. My early videos, although I wouldn't say they were that great quality, they cost it cost me £3 for a microphone, and it wasn't even a microphone. It was a PlayStation 3 webcam. And I just recorded my voice with that. The original Abandoned by Disney is my voice in a PlayStation 3 webcam. The Stairs, if you look at my video for Stairs, the original for Stairs, I was actually there's a little kind of like knock at the start of it, and that's me fumbling with the camera. And I actually kept that in for charm because I thought that just added to the narration itself, to the character. So I kept that in because I loved that. I like how stupid, like how cheap it was. I just really enjoyed that moment, and I left it in because first recording I ever did, and I just like it. It gave it a lot of character. Okay, so moving on. This is the big one. I want to talk about projects which I've been working on. Now, I'm gonna go into stuff like Fallout. I'm gonna do Fallout last because I feel like you guys are into horror. Fallout is not a horror; it's a fan fiction. But I really want to talk about that because I'm really excited for that. But I'll give it. I'll wait. I'll put a wait on it. We'll wait till the end for that one. Now, the first one I want to talk about is Ashley. Ashley is a series I'm so excited. I am so excited on Ashley right now. Ashley is one of the most ambitious things I've ever written, probably the most ambitious thing I've written except for Fallout. Should I say? I mentioned this a little bit in my original live stream, but I'll just go over it real quick again. Started off as a fan fiction for a video game called Corpse Party, which is actually a really sinister but amazing game, and it's actually one of the only Japanese RPG games I've ever actually finished. I think it's the only Japanese RPG game I've ever finished. I don't want to go, if you're interested in something like anime or JRPGs, go check it out. I don't want to ruin the story. I don't even understand the story. It's just a good game. I don't want to go into too much detail on that. But that inspired me to write a fan fiction for not based in the same kind of world or the same characters, but to bring in my own characters. It became Corpse Party Abyss. Standard name, don't judge. And let me see if I've actually got it up on here. I don't think I do. Where is it? Because I actually wrote it a long time ago. Here we go. Last edited in 2016. I don't know when I first started it. Apparently, I only started making it in early 2016, the 27th of January 2016, but there was an earlier version. There was even a title based off the popular video game. It's also an anime and manga. Don't watch the anime. The anime is awful. Cool. So I'm just going to bear in mind Ashley has evolved from this. So I'm just going to read you the opening for this, which hasn't made it to Ashley. Bear with. Bear in mind this is bad. This is before I like to say I got good at writing. I woke up just as I do every morning. Nothing special. I had the usual cereal and got dressed as I always did. I got the bus at 8:30 and arrived at school at 9 o'clock. Like I said, nothing special. I had no way of telling that this dull, mediocre day would take a turn for the worst in just a few short hours. I first went to the classroom. Her hair was easily the most recognizable figure. It was longer than most, and she had it dyed a shade of black far darker than I thought was possible. It was almost like if you were to touch it with your hand. Sorry, it was almost like if you were to touch it, your hand would disappear into the darkness. Her lips were cherry red, and her hair was and her face was as pale as a snowman. Jesus Christ, this is bad. up until now, I still have no idea if it was just makeup or natural. This is so bad. Despite her emo-like appearance, she was actually one of the nicest girls you could ever meet. She was the kind of girl you'd find in a school library, revising for upcoming exams, and in her spare time, she'd spend it writing stories and blogging. I have no idea what about. She'd never let us see. And then it goes straight into a conversation. I don't think that's very good in terms of grammar, English, writing, anything. But I just got out of school a couple of years ago, before college, and I wasn't really interested in writing. I wasn't really interested in creepypastas. I listened to them and I loved them, but never really thought about writing them myself or even narrating them. Like narrating that, like what even is that? So I don't really focus on anything like that. So basically, everything I know about writing is actually coming from creepypastas. Back then, I hated to read. I mean, you know, I can't really sit down and enjoy books at the moment. Like I had to browse stuff like Reddit No Sleep, because horror is really the only thing that really grips me in terms of actual written English. I mean, it's probably, I know it's because I haven't found the right book yet. But you know, some of the stuff I've read in the Creepypasta wiki and the narrations I've done, just flawless work. Some of them. Some of my favorite written texts have been creepypastas. Corpse Party then turned into, I can't remember what it turned into, its name, but that later it turned into Unspoken Rumors. Rumors. I thought I'd edited the original Corpse Party fanfiction enough to change into my own original creation. So we've actually got, what one do I do? The original, the prologue, second attempt. Cool. So Unspoken Rumors went through several formats. It went through several versions, at least half a dozen, if not the full dozen. It went through scripts. It went through just a narrative story. It was all over the place. And I was kind of experimenting to see what worked well. And this was around the same time as Fallout. I was still trying to experiment with what worked well, what didn't work well, and how can I edit and narrate to it. This particular version of Unspoken Rumors, not sure which version this was. I didn't really do a good job at labeling them. So classroom sound effects. The classroom was as loud as it could get for the start of the new year. Students were busy chatting or bragging about how they spent their holidays. Most would relate to the exchange of witty banter and jokes that were created, which was and still is typical of any 10th grade classroom. Like my grammar is awful at this point. Teacher comes in, blah blah blah. This is like the script version. He goes, "All right, class, you may go ahead and take your seats." The class did as instructed, without haste, almost like soldiers obeying their commander. By another student. He didn't make eye contact with anyone in particular. He goes, "Everyone, I would like you to meet Sean." I don't know who Sean is. "He'll be joining us for the rest of the year." The classroom began chatting amongst themselves. With this one, it was a script, mostly, and I would just kind of finish it off with, like, you know, bits of narration in between. It wasn't really a story. It was supposed to be a script, which I wasn't too keen on. Now we'll skip that one and we'll then go into From the Forest, which is then what Unspoken Rumors turned into. So let me find that. From the Forest. He starts off very similar to Ashley, almost identical in the first few paragraphs. That's because when I first wrote the paragraphs, I scanned it over and over and over again. And I actually know exactly what music I'm going to put to it when I do the actual thing. So I decided to see how it worked with the music, and I edited it from there. I don't want to go too into detail about how it starts because I've already done that before on my Twitter, and I believe I've done it on my YouTube as well. So basically, From the Forest turned into a story about unspoken rumors or high school rumors. Instead of Ashley, it was a girl named Caitlin Grant. And basically, it became a cliche story about a girl who went missing from the school several years earlier. And it turns out, basically, the students are finding it a little bit skeptical, but they realize that the forest behind the school, if you could wander in there and like get lost, there's a good chance you may not be found, which kind of brought in the kind of horror aspect of forests or woodlands. It's too easy, it's too cliche. And also From the Forest, it was supposed to be about, bear in mind this is nothing to do with Ashley because I changed the whole concept, well, most of the concept, about people like madmen living in the forest, like people who, if you played Resident Evil 4, you'll know what I'm talking about, kind of like people who are crazy, bit not right in the head, kidnapping people, trying to kill people. And because they're high school students, that's like there's people living in the woods. So that idea was then changed once again. It was then changed back to unspoken rumors, and the unspoken rumors once again turned into Ashley. Now, I settled on Ashley because Ashley was the rumor. Let me find it. Ashley became the rumor. The rumor was all about Ashley, a girl called Ashley. Spend all their time trying to figure out who she is, where this rumor came from, the motivation behind why people started spreading this rumor. Let me see if I can find it. I should have got these up already. I thought I got Ashley up, but I believe I got it on my desktop. Ashley. Okay, so this was Ashley. This must have been like version like 20 of Unspoken Rumors. This one was actually called From the Forest version 2, quote Ashley, which is not, it's just Ashley now. You've heard the intro if you've seen anything on my channel or my Twitter, so I won't bore you with the intro. The original way of me writing it, it was supposed to be around 2,000 words, kind of maximum for part 1. And part 1 was supposed to last around 2,000 words. Gonna be 2,000 words. There is too much in this. There is too much dialogue in this to make it 2,000 words. It's now at 6,637. So if you're looking forward to Ashley, you gotta brace yourself here, guys. It's going to be a hell of a ride, a good one, a good ride. And I hope you guys enjoy it when it is finally released. The reason why I like to build it, I like to get you guys excited for it, but unfortunately, I'll be bringing it out for a while. The reason for that is because I don't want a repeat of Fallout. Fallout, go. I write it as and when I can, as I go, which is why the new episode isn't out. With Ashley, I want to make sure that it's finished and to a good standard before I even begin to send off the lines. I've got several people in mind of who to play which character. I haven't contacted them yet. It's probably a big mistake. But basically, it's so far from completion. I thought the whole story would have been done, but it's not. There is too much going into this story for me to leave it here. So there is too much here to kind of leave it at this current word count. Even now, I felt like, is it going on too long? But I look back and everything is needed. Could find anything in particular to narrate without giving away any sort of spoilers. So the part one mostly revolves around three characters. We have Andrew, we have Finn, and we have Jess. All three characters are subject to have their names changed. I usually do. Little secret about my work, Jack is a code name or a stand-in name I write. The reason why he's still called Jack in Fallout is because I hadn't really done any narration, where he's called Jack. I've done a few actually, but for the one where we can focus on Jack, and I just like the name. I just think the name's quite cool. It's very simple name, but I like it. In Jack, it's not my fault because I do call him Jack quite a lot when I'm reading it out loud. Right. So they're in class, and Andrew, he's very, I don't really know how to describe him. He's very, his attitude is very out there. He's very confident, full of himself, I would say. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but he's very confident. He's very eager. He's the one who kind of spreads the rumor around, and kind of almost like the complete opposite of Jess at the start of the series. Jess is a nerd, a quiet one, very sassy. That's what I like about Jess. She's very sassy, which even in Unspoken Rumors, Jess was a very sassy character. Finn, I wanted Finn to be relatable, but at the same time, bland. I can't stand bland characters. There's too many movies, narrations, and books, you name it, where characters are bland. And just for the sake of relatability, damn that. I can't stand it when they say, you know, just for argument's sake, they're going to be a bland character. It's why video games don't have voice protagonists half the time. It's why Link in Legend of Zelda is speechless. It's why characters in Fallout and Skyrim are speechless, except for Fallout 4. It's to relate to the characters. I don't want to do that. I want to create a character with their own personality, their own motives, their own mind. And basically, the way I want the audience to react is, I feel like I'm a bit of this guy. Maybe say Andrew's attitude with Jess's sassiness, but I got the motivation of Finn. Those are just examples. Keep in mind, there is already more than the three characters in part one. There will be more characters added. Another great thing that I want to bring to the table is that it actually takes place over years. It takes place over years, so there's loads of room for character development, which I'm really, really hyped about. I haven't really had a proper chance to do character development. Fallout's getting a lot of character development to a point. Right now in Fallout, even though I'm rewriting the original 3 episodes, there will be character development. A couple of days in that series. The series has been going on for 2 years, and it's only been a few days to them, which is interesting. So there will be character development in that, and there always was going to be. Same with this, there will always be character development between the characters. The characters will not be the same characters you know from the beginning when the series ends, which is what I like so much about it. I don't want to get too into the rumor, but I do want to talk about how Finn kind of reacts to it. So, has just heard the rumor. Andrew's just told Finn the rumor. Basically, he has had more than enough evidence to back it up. Let me find a good one. Cool. So, again, this is going to sound out of context, because it is. So he's found an article on his phone, and Andrew has shown it to Finn. The article has read that several students have been presumed dead. I'm not going to give context to why that is, or how, or anything like that. I studied the article further. Presumed dead? Part. They never found the bodies. Andrew smirked with a sinister grin. Use. And haven't seen him used since. There are several theories. The first being that they were simply incinerated by the blaze, leaving nothing but ash. Plausible, but even that is a stretch. Some have said that Ashley was some sort of demon, but I never bought into that. Wait, so that's where you draw the line? I hope you could tell if I'm Finn or Andrew. It's going to make a lot more sense when you've got different voice actors. Wait, so that's where you draw the line? It's not actually that far-fetched, considering the amount of people who claim to have seen her around the school. It actually makes a lot of sense. Two seconds. The way he said this was so casual, like it didn't even matter. He said it like it was common knowledge. No need for further investigation. Okay, so you're telling me that Ashley has been seen around the school. That's literally impossible. I agree, but everyone has said the same thing. She wears a dirty blazer from the old school uniform, black hair that covers the left side of her face, and she stands there, staring into space. She's also seen in crowds, but I've heard that she appears in windows around the English classes. Have you seen her? I asked. Me? No. But Kate? Yeah, she mentioned it. His voice turned to a whisper as he leaned in and nodded his head in the direction of Kate Marsh, a composed student who currently had her head buried in her writing, something we had currently been getting away with avoiding. Nothing really stood out about her, but I never really thought of her as one to play along in such nonsense. Well, I'm not going to narrate any more of that one. I'm just trying to establish characters and the idea of the story. Keep in mind that's not the finished version. There will be more edits to it. And I just wanted to give you guys a quick glimpse of what that is. Let's get rid of that one. Also, I'm going to be writing a true story. And I know what you're thinking. I'm like, how do we know it's true? Trust me on this, guys. It's a true story that happened to me. The reason why I've never mentioned it before or written about it before is because it's actually really difficult to write about because I'm not 100% sure on what happens. I don't want to talk about it right now just because I don't want to ruin it. Because if I told you what it is and why it's scary, it's going to ruin the whole story. But I've actually got it up on the screen now. I don't really know how I'm going to write it, whether or not I'm going to write it and tell you guys in a live stream, narrate it like a creepypasta. I don't know yet. True story, really did happen to me. I mean, I don't believe any of these, true stories that happened in this time or here are 6 true deep web stories or something like that. I don't really believe those. If you don't want to believe this one, that's up to you. That's fine. But I'll be writing about it. I'll be writing about my experience. Happened 10 years ago. And like I said, I haven't really mentioned it before because it didn't really, it scared the hell out of me at the time, but I kind of forgot about it. And I kind of, it's kind of hard to talk about, not because it's traumatic or anything like that. It's just hard to explain. So I really look forward to doing that. Also, now we're on to it. Actually, before I do that, Fallout Vault 77 is being updated. My most viewed video on this channel is Vault 77, a creepypasta based on the lore of the Fallout universe. At least I believe it's canon, Vault 77 with the Puppet Man. I believe it's canon. I think I'm sure of it. I will be doing a story on that. I'm going to redo it because it makes me cringe. The original one makes me cringe so much I can't even listen to it anymore. Getting rid of that one. Well, not getting rid of it. updating it. Be nice and modern. Now, the main one which I want to talk about, Fallout. Fallout Episode 1, 2, and 3 is being rewritten. Fallout Episode 1, The Journey Begins. This is the Redux. I can't remember what I read in my last live stream, but I want to read you a little bit just to see how it's changed. If you want to watch the original, oh, please don't judge me. Please don't insult me by how bad it is. When I wrote it and when I narrated it, Mother Creepypasta knocked it out of the park. She was really good with her lines, and I instantly realized, like, I need to step up my game. Well done for that. You did great. You do an amazing job portraying Sarah. Well done. We're going to be bringing in more characters soon by some other really talented narrators, so I look forward to that. Why haven't I updated it? Why isn't the next episode out? Do you know how difficult it is to write a convincing character that is also bad but good at the same time and likable? It's so difficult. It's going to be good when it's up. But in the meantime, I want to do the Redux, and I want to leave you guys with this. Where is it? The courier is in Megaton, set in the time period of Fallout 3. Who'd have thought a living, thriving town could have possibly existed from a pile of scrap? It was almost impressive in his eyes that such an active community survived and prospered from a city built around an undetonated nuke. He had heard of Megaton, but never fully understood the name until he walked through the front gate. There it sat at the bottom of its crater, stewing in its own irradiated puddle of dirt, the remnants of an ancient pre-war weapon of destruction, a fine symbol of the destructive power of mankind. And yet what surrounded it was something else. Maybe that's why they chose this place. Maybe the town itself was a symbol all its own. The courier didn't care to think about it for too long. It wasn't even acknowledged by the settlers, almost as if it was a forgotten relic, once an attraction, now a rusty piece of junk that blended with the rest of the town. Threat or not, it just sat there, dormant, waiting for the day it would one day detonate, burying the town in its wake. At least that's how the courier saw it. It was the perfect excuse to leave sooner rather than later. However, he couldn't help but feel distracted from the weight his backpack. He couldn't help but feel distracted from the weight of his backpack, or rather the weight it lacked. He knew he had the necessities, but it wouldn't hurt to stock up on supplies if it meant getting to Paradise Falls by nightfall, or in one piece for that matter. It looked like he would have to stay in town for just a little while longer. Now, I'm going to fast forward a little bit to the end of episode 1. Quick word of warning. I don't know how I'm going to do the ghoul voice for this one. If anyone could do a ghoul voice, message me, because I would love to have you in this. Because I really, really don't want to do the voice of Gob again. I really don't want to do that. 2 seconds. I really don't want to embarrass myself again with that voice. The rusty metal gate grinded open slowly, letting in the sunlight from the fading horizon. It left a perfect silhouette of the capital wasteland. What was left of it, anyway? He wiped the sweat from his brow and began to flick through the menu on the device on his wrist, remembering what the ghoul had called it. A fancy watch. It made him smirk. In truth, it was so much more. He was greeted by a cartoon mascot in the form of a young boy, holding a thumbs up, winking at him. The words underneath wrote, Pit Boy, before bringing up the map of DC. Head east, follow the river up north. Okay, he said. He said, as he activated the device's radio and began his journey. Fallout Episode 1, 2, and 3 will be in one video. Fallout Episode 4 will not be altered. I liked how that went. Again, Mother Creepypasta did a great job on her lines. I'm also hoping to get her back for this one because the lines have been altered. They say the same things, just more of it. So an example, an original line was, "What about you?" Which has now been changed to, "Oh yeah, what about you? Tell me, why are you in here?" So same lines, just more of them. I wanted to keep it as close to the original as possible. I wanted the lines to still be the same. I wanted it to, I guess, be linked to its own canon. And while we're talking about canon, it is canon friendly, just not canon. So that is what this is. Episode 5 is being worked on. I can't tell you anything about that without giving away spoilers as of yet. I know it's been a long time coming for anyone who has been waiting. Thank you for your patience on this series. I think that is all for this one, for this live stream. And I will be, after I'm done with this, I will be sending off my lines to Fear itself for the next chapters of Madness in Wonderland. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. We're part of a great community, the Creepypasta Nation. Check that out as well. Also mention Mother Creepypasta in this video. Check out her channel. All of those narrators are great. Deserve so much more than what they get in. They're great. They blow me away every time they make their new narrations, every time they bring them out. Thank you to those guys for their support. Thank you for you guys for your support. I will speak to you all very soon. Have a good evening, guys.